Okay, Steve in Massachusetts. Got your new Stryker here, 955 HPC Plus. That's what I call it. That's what it, I guess, that's what it's called, the 955 HPC Plus. So here's the Mars, the conversion, whatever you want to call it. So that's all set. It ain't gonna come off there, so it's all good. As soon as I power on the radio, it should just switch right over and we should have all the options. Obviously, it'll go down to 24 if you go into your VFO setting. So watch some of the other videos that I've done on the Stryker. It can even be like the version 2, which is still a really good radio in my opinion too. I'm really happy with it. But this one, I mean, the extra power, I can see where people would want it. It's desirable, to a certain extent, but it is a nice radio. It's one of these kind of radios, when I have one on the bench here, when I'm using it, I like it. But when I don't have it, and I put it back away in the storage or on the shelf and try something else, I don't really miss it right away. But then when I get another one and I sit here and work with one, then I miss it, and I'm like, man, I should get my Stryker out again. Then I use it for a while, and then it's like, oh man, I want to try something else. So I guess that's one of the things as a radio operator, when you have choices, you kind of, you try something, you use it for a while, man, I like it, but now I want to use this other one, and then like in my situation, I get to do this, and I'm playing with a new one again. I'm like, man, I got to get mine out again. So I haven't kept one of these for myself yet. Imagine probably I will at some point, but I do have some more coming. They should be here tomorrow. So the pre-order, I think, is off now on the website, but you did pre-order it, so I appreciate that. And there's one more pre-order that I have the radio sitting here too. So probably won't get to that one until tomorrow. But anyhow, I'm wasting time here, so I want to get this radio done for you and hopefully get it back on the UPS truck heading out your way. Alright, so when you turn it on, after you do that, it should come to life. Yep. So it's all there. For your liking, I'm going to run the software now. Alright, Steve, just be aware that that protective face does have some markings in it. It's unfortunate, but there's nothing we can do about it. All you can do is maybe complain to Stryker about it, because they deal with the factory where they have these made, and maybe they can tell them, hey, if you're gonna, when you put these on there, what are you doing? Why are you scratching them up? So when I set these radios up, the radio basically sits on the table for like a few seconds while I put the solder onto the board to convert it, and then it sits on this stand. And like I said in one of the last videos, there's no chance ever that I'm going to sit here and try to gouge up a brand new radio, because then I own it. So obviously I want to keep one for myself, but I want mine to look good too. This will peel off if you get up under there and start to move it. The whole thing will like slowly kind of come off, and then it'll look brand new under there. But I do notice that stuff, so, and it's always been like that, even on the version 2s and original ones, so it's nothing new. But I just like to point that out. When you get them, that's how they come sometimes. And it is what it is, but I'd like to see them do better. Okay, so yours has a little bit of a discrepancy on the transmit frequency. It's not much, so I'll fix that for you. That should have done it there. So now we have to go down to 2 kilohertz spacing, and I think back when I first did the first video, I had to fix that too on that original one that I tested, and I think I left the span in the 2K, and that's why I was seeing a TOI of like 30 something out of the box. I was like, oh my god, I was so excited. But yeah, it's got to be 20, to get the full picture. So nobody's perfect. The radio tests really good. So FM power, we're going to set that to 50, somewhere around there anyways. Maybe just a little more than 50 is okay. And low power, I'm going to put you down to about 1. There you go. And then deviation, I already know on these, and a little tip here, you basically just turn it up all the way because it can't go any more than like 3.9 something. So it pretty much stops and then it goes to 0. So that's the one tip of the day I'll give everybody. If you're setting one of these up for FM, just turn it up all the way. And yeah, it goes to 1450 and then off. So let's put that to the test really quick again, just because. Just want to make sure. I'll be right back. Yep, so it's like 3.9. I mean, that's good enough. I got no complaints there. It's just kind of strange why it won't go over 4. Not that you really have to. I'd say that that's pretty practical right there. That's close enough to 4 and this is for amateur radio. So, you know, let's just say on this one we want it to go like for conformity for like what we're supposed to have for an FCC type accepted CB. I don't even know if we can make it go that low. I think we can though. Yeah, we have to take it way down to 2. So definitely can. I wish there was an adjustment in here for that. That's one thing I wish they would add, and maybe they could, but and 2.1 is 1221. So that's my little tip of the day for these. You know, you can kind of decide where you want. I think out of the box it's like 3 point something, but it's not close to 4. So I'm gonna put it back up to 4. So there you go. So most likely, whoever did the testing, maybe they just overlooked that part, or the only thing they cared about was AM, and they just never even looked at FM. But you know, it's good. Just I would have maybe done it a little bit different. But I'm not included in that stuff, so all I can do is make suggestions and hope that maybe the powers to be will listen or include me. Not that, you know, I know anything, because I'm not a big seller, or I don't have this huge reputation like some other places do. So I'm just a little small guy, and I like that. So carrier is about 24. We're gonna rock with that and just see how it looks, how it is. And low power is about 2. I'm going to make that about 1. I don't think you'll ever need to run it that low, but actually make it about 0.9. But just to give you that option, I guess, if that's what you wanted. So we'll do the low power AM now, and we'll see how we look. It's about 69%. That's kind of how it looks there. So it's, you know, pretty limp. One quick adjustment and boy, it came to life. So that's probably good there. 96. And we want to make sure that, you know, we're not crossing those too close together and stuff, and also, you know, we're not negatively smashing down on the peaks, and we're not, so that looks good. Now let's look at the high power side and see how that looks. Okay, so we're already pretty close there. 95.6. Okay, there's 96 right there. So if we look at this a little closer, and then I'll do this, you can see that our positive is still nice and round. It's not like collapsing in on itself, so that's good. Whoop, wrong button there. Can get like extremely close to it if I want. There's the bottom. So I'm just playing with basically how it looks on the screen is all. So I'll look at the center. Can't really ask for anything better than that. So there's not really much to do there. It's pretty good out of the factory, so I'll give them the good credit on that. Anyone that says you need to push it harder than that, I'd strongly consider maybe they check some of their test equipment, and it would probably tell them no. But if they're not using their test equipment and it's just there for show, which I don't know. I mean, I didn't buy all this stuff to not use it personally, so. But there's different types of customers out there, and some guys are catering to others that, you know, they want certain things that I don't do here. So to each his own on, I guess, how they run their radio equipment is all I can say on that. But I prefer to do it the right way, I like to call it, the way that makes sense. You know, you buy some quality equipment and you trust in what that shows you, and you go from there. So again, you know, like out of the factory, we're getting a ton of like average power here on sideband, but you don't want that. That's not good for the band. It's going to cause a lot of unnecessary interference, especially if you were to use this on 10 meter or 12 meter. You can see how we look there. It's not really that great. So from past to doing these, I know I can get it pretty close just by doing that. So what I'm doing now is matching the pips 1 and 2, and we're going to take our intermodulation distortion measurement and see how it comes out. And these turn out good, so it just needs a few adjustments. That's pretty darn close. You can still see there. So go here and here. So yeah, they suffer quite a bit out of the factory. That's not a good number there at all. That's very poor. But again, as I correct it, it gets very nice. And I like to go about mid 24. Yeah, it looks really good there now. So again, now when you look at this average power with the 2 tones, you know, that's normal. You're not going to do a bunch of this average power on sideband. It's not designed to do average power. Average power is average power. I mean, it's, you know, it's not rocket science there. Look how nice that looks. So that's why I do what I do. It just makes sense. And in a world of we just never know what's going to happen from day to day, I want at least my radio equipment and how I use my test equipment to make sense. And I hope it makes sense to everybody that watches and stuff, and why I do what I do versus maybe what some others do. But you can clearly see now how nice that is. I mean, again, this is 10 kilohertz that way, that's 10 kilohertz that way. I mean, we're basically taking out very little more than maybe 4 kilohertz. I think this radio might be default to that or something in the service mode, but it's very clean, and we have 2 independent tones, and that's why we see signal on both sides. So one is lower in frequency than the other, but when you match them, you pretty much mimic the same, you know, with the amplitude. We're matching amplitude here and here to make these things pretty much match. So I'd say that that's perfect. And you know, the good thing about these, like I've said before, is it's warm. It definitely is warm, but it's not burning to the touch. So fan kits not necessary. I'm losing my voice because I've done so many videos today. So this will be the last one, and you know, we'll move on to the rest of the day, which isn't much left, that's for sure. So I'm just gonna do some power checks for you now, Steve, and we'll get out of here. So this is 28405. So let's just go 28405. Okay. I'm using this mic. Again, a microphone is pretty much your preference for these radios. The radio's set up to use the mic gain all the way up all the time. It really doesn't matter what mic. If you're going to use a mic like this, don't run it like this, you know. Keep the gain down on the mic. Let the mic kind of control the output of the radio is what I like to do with these. So here's the power output with the spectrum analyzer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check 1, 2. It's really clean. I hope that's not the UPS truck right there, but it could be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So there's your 100 watts right there on sideband. And again, you know, in between the words and stuff, it's going to dip down, but it's always going to come back. So I might have that mic down just a little too much, but I like to run these mics because it kind of keeps the modulation at a higher level out of the box than what a factory mic would do or something like that. So I look at these mics, it's a power mic, but it's not going to give your radio considerably, like, you're not peaking and tuning a radio by running a power mic, and I don't peak and tune radios anyways, but what they do is they give you the more of like a speech processor. It keeps that power at a more consistent level, as you can see there on the meter. So, but you don't have to run one of these or even buy one from me. Man, my voice is really about ready to die. I just like to show them because this is what I like to run here, and that's, I always have one on the desk here, so I don't run anything else. AM still about a 25 watt carrier or so, and then when we speak, it's about 100 watts on the nose, somewhere around that range. 1 2 3 4 5, check 1 2 1 2 3, hello. So I'm gonna wrap this one up, Steve, because I'm gonna try to get this box, because I know the UPS truck's coming any minute. I don't think that's him, because that's not the UPS truck bark. That's a different bark right there. That's like a bark of somebody just walking by. But the UPS bark, like, he goes frickin' nuts, the German Shepherd male. So, but anyways, it's a nice clean output. We'll just go back to the other band really quick, just to show you. 1 2 3 4 5, check 1 2. It may be just a little stronger on this band, as you can see there. So that's where the service mode is set up at. 1 2 3 4 5, check 1 2. Sideband probably about the same anyways, close to 100 there. But again, you know, if you don't have the right power measuring meter, then you'll never see, you know, what I see here on these radios. So just kind of keep that for a reference too, and that's for anybody. You know, some of these meters that are on the market, they're not really helping you as an operator to really trust what you're seeing. The only other thing to say here is, you know, on sideband, you're not going to see a strong movement here on the SRF. Man, on AM you will. On AM you'll pretty much see it go to the max. So that's pretty much it for that. Just quickly, I'll put the antenna on it, and then we'll wrap it up.
Today, whatever, I don't know, but I don't see shit up there either.
Whoops. Talking like that will get me flagged. Well, the videos aren't for kids, so sometimes that's what, you never know what you're going to get on this band.
If you're throwing something out there and you're not getting a bite, you got to switch it up.
Somebody wanted to see the NRC.
Well, I mean, when I was living up there, you had break some years. You got dumped on. Yeah, they got dumped on, and they got more, twice as much of what they had already, what they had last year. Yeah, I used to go up there, God, it's been years ago, up in Newberry there.
A little bit too digitized on 5.
Man, I can remember back then.
I can deal with 3 though, or even 4. So.
5 foot of snow.
I'm going to leave it at 2.
Oh yeah, the first year I went up there, I was working at the rest area up
Whoops.
there, the last one.
That's when you turn it on, it's going to go to 2 by default,
The International Bridge.
like that.
And
If you don't set it in the menu, it won't be on, even though it says it's on. So that's a little tip there too. All right, Steve. There he goes cussing again. All right, Steve. I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for texting me back about the info on the shipping there. I just wanted to make sure it was going to the right place. 73, and catch everybody later.